All right, everybody, on behalf of Trident Title, Performance Title, and Synergy Title, I want to welcome you guys to our 2021 business planning class. Everybody always thinks I'm nuts because I do this every year in October, and usually you don't start seeing people doing it until November or December. Number one, I like to get ahead of it. And number two, I was informed just a little while ago that there's exactly 66 days left until the end of the year. And ironically, this really was not planned, but ironically, the number of days it takes to form a habit or good habits is 66 days. So the reason I like to do this early, usually somewhere between the second week of October and the end of October, is because I like to get you in the swing of things so that you actually have a chance of hitting your goals. I know a lot of brokers and agents and owners and real estate agents, start planning on January 2nd or 3rd after they recovered from New Year's Eve. And the problem is, when you do that, even when you plan late in December, it's really great to do that. Having a plan is better than not. However, if you wait that long to do it and you put things in motion, there's pretty much no chance in our world that you can have a closing in the first couple of days. So when people start off that late, whether it be mid to late December or into January, they have pretty much no chance of hitting their goal in January or February because we don't have anything on the books yet. So it sets agents up to be, running uphill all year. And there's nothing worse than feeling like a failure right from the beginning of January. So my goal today is that everybody's going to leave with a business plan. Everyone that attends the call, if you guys want, I will send you out my PDF of where I write it out on, which I'll show you guys during this. And then all the people that are on the call, I'm going to give the opportunity to have a one-on-one kind of business planning session. If when you get out of this, you feel like your plan didn't come together or you're not all the way there yet and you want some help with it, I want you guys to get some time. So I will make time for anybody that wants to work on their business plan one-on-one after this class, and we will make sure that you have a business plan by the end of the month that's completed that you can take action on. So most of you guys I already know, and we've been doing this now for a while. So that's my little logo thing. I've been a single agent. I ran a team, ran a couple of big franchise offices, and now really my sole purpose is just helping you guys. So I work with Trident Performance and Synergy just to deliver value, add to your businesses, help you guys grow your businesses. And we know that in return, if we help you grow your business, you're going to help us grow our business by sending us title deals. So we have all of our fantastic reps are on the call. So Melissa Kidwell, Dave Ward, Tracy Cinder, Gabrielle Bryce, myself. So if any of you have been brought on the call by them, thank them and connect with them, and we will set up a one-on-one that I will do with you. So let's dive in. So some interesting stats. 83% of real estate agents do not have a business plan. This is from NAR last year. 83% of real estate agents do not have a business plan at all. They just wing it, right? And winging it is fun, but not so much in a job where you don't get paid, right? If we don't do deals, we don't get paid. There's nothing that we can just wing and get paid. So 83% of real estate agents not having a business plan is what always scares me. So I like to do these classes all the time in October. And then I usually end up doing them all throughout the year, either with new agents or agents that are pivoting or kind of reigniting their business. Throughout the year, we end up doing these a lot. And some of you guys have done these with, in June or July. With a lot of people, we did these in March and April when the business plan was just how the heck do we get through the next 30 days when there was a lot of uncertainty? How do we make sure we get a check? How do we make sure we earn money, somewhere in that next 30, 45, 60 days? And we're going to do a business plan for the whole year for 2021 today. But what I urge you is that sometimes, if you feel a little lost or you're feeling a little backwards or down on yourself or not making money, sometimes the best plan is just to figure out how you make it through the next month. What do I do in the next month that's going to guarantee I get a deal on the books? And we're fortunate enough down here where our average price point and our average commission, is still hovering right around $10,000. So just getting through a month and getting a deal done for most of us is going to at least pay the bills, give us some money in our pocket, and let us live pretty decently. 14% of agents have a plan, meaning they have something in their head, but they just don't have it in writing. And that happens a lot. They say, okay, this year I want to work on FSBOs and expireds and internet leads. And those are going to be my 3. And here's kind of what I'm going to do. But they don't have it written down. What we find and what NAR finds really is that only 3% of agents have an actual written business plan. So we had like 50 something register for this call. There's 25 or so on now. So 3% of that, would be like one person, not even really, would actually have a written business plan. So just by a show of hands or maybe by a show of text, if you had a business plan in writing, an actual written out business plan for 2020, just type yes in the chat. I'm just curious how many people did. So if you had a business plan for 2020 in writing, not just in your brain, if you had something in writing that you could go back, reference, and look at, type the word yes in the chat. I'm curious to see if anybody had one or how many people did. 2. Okay, 2 so far. All right, there we go. More coming in. Awesome. All right, so a couple of you already did. And we know March 15th-ish, whatever day you officially found out about COVID, that a lot of people just threw those business plans out and started over, right? So we're here now. It is what it is. And we now have to figure out how we get through this for the next step. So those 3% that actually have the written business plan are 300% more likely to achieve their goals. So I want to make sure that we set you up for the best year ever in 2021. So if you have a piece of paper, if you have some notes or something that you can write on, I want you to draw something out that looks just like this. And at the end of this call, I'll send it to you guys. So if you want to go back and watch the recording and do it yourself, you can. And again, if you want to hop on a one-on-one to do this personally, I don't mind doing that. But if you're writing notes or have a piece of paper or notes in your iPhone or on your computer, just write this down. At the top, just put 2021 business plan. Leave yourself 3 lines for questions. How much money do you want to make? How many transactions do you want to do? And how many appointments are you going to need? And then take a little gap and put the 3 lead generation strategies that are going to get you there. So there's going to be 3 that we talk about throughout the class here. And then the bottom is going to be 5 action steps for each one of these strategies. So when we come up with your strategies, which are going to be unique to you, my goal is that we all don't have 26 people on the call making a business plan that looks the same. We're going to go through this so that everybody's is unique to them. And then we'll write out these action steps and I'll give you some ideas. And if you want to review them after or talk after the call, we can stay on or we can set up time to do one solo. So everyone first, what I want to ask you is how much money do you want to make? And whatever that number is fine, no judgment. If it's under 100,000, I always push people to try to get up more than that, but whatever that number is for you, if this is part-time or full-time or whatever, I'm good with that. And if you're willing to share, I would love to see some of those numbers just typed in the chat. I don't care what the number is. If it's 50,000, great. If it's 5 million, great. Whatever it is, I'm happy with it. Just throw some numbers in the chat for me. I like to kind of make this, a play along thing here. And there's no number really that you could put in there that's going to scare me. So whatever that number is for you is great. For a while, I ran a team and our best year, we did right just under $3 million in commission. And I've done these plans also for agents that just want to make 30,000 because that is going to, add a lot to their bottom line or to their family. So awesome. I got some numbers coming in, 150, 250, 400. Anybody else? If you want to throw a number in the chat, throw one in there, 120. Good. Okay. So whatever number you just put, if you're following along or if you drew this out, just put that in the top line. And again, when you go back to watch this, if you want to watch the replay and do it on your own with the actual sheet, you can do that as well. So now what I want you to do is whatever that number is, I want you to divide it by 10,000. When we look across all the offices and all the deals we do, all the deals that thankfully you guys send to us at Performance and Trident and Synergy, the number that usually we see pretty regularly, the commission number is about 10,000. Now I know there's some of us on the call that do deals that are way smaller, and there's some of us on the call that do, numbers that are 10 times that in one commission check. But what I want you to do, whatever number you put first, so if you put 120,000 as what you wanted to make, divide that number by 10,000. And then I want you to take that and put that in the second line. That's how many transactions you're going to do. So if you wanted to do 100,000 in income, divide that by 10,000. That leaves us with 10. That means we need to come up with a plan that's going to put 10 deals in your pocket. And when we do this, we're going to be very conservative so that the goal is that at the end of the year, you should very easily hit and achieve your goal. And if you make more money, I don't think you're going to be mad about it, right? So take your first number, 450,000, divide it by 10,000, you get 45 transactions. Whatever that number is, throw that in there. And then what I want you to do, and everybody thinks I'm nuts by this, is but I want you to double it. So however many you came up with, however many transactions you came up with, if your number there was 12 because you wanted to make 120 divided by 10,000, so you had 12 transactions, I want you to double that. So multiply that number by 2 and put it in the third question. That's how many appointments you need. And the reason I like to do appointments is because whenever I talk to real estate agents, I'll just tell you, anybody that's like new or less than 3 years in the business, almost always, as long as I've been doing this, I've recruited and trained literally thousands of agents, done over 1,500 recruiting appointments. When I do these, almost every time I would do it with someone that's less than 3 years in the business, no matter what, they say they want to make 100,000. And usually that's a number that they either haven't achieved yet, or maybe it's their group of friends, or it's 6 figures, so it sounds fancy, whatever it is. And that's great, but then they're always just chasing the money. And one thing that's kind of scary in real estate, especially in Palm Beach, the truth is, I don't want to say it's easy, but the reality of it is, there's always a way you can make $100,000 commission check, right? That's not the average. Those houses don't move very often that are that kind of money. But when you look at it and people say, okay, well, it's the beginning of the year, I want to make 100,000. If I break that down by 12 months, I only need to make 7, 8, 9 grand a month. Not that big of a deal. If we get 6 months into the year and I haven't done anything yet, or I haven't earned any money yet, our goal is still 100,000. And we don't change the goal because we put that number there for a reason. But we look at that and say, okay, I want to make 100,000. And then some people alter their plan to make it, well, I just need to go after houses that are higher price point so I can get there. And you're always kind of chasing that big deal. And while that is nice, the real estate agents that stay in this business for a long time, that have some longevity, they're doing a lot of the littler, smaller meat and potatoes kind of deals. And when they get to the end, they've made a little money on every deal. They have cash flow, which keeps them in the business, keeps them paying their bills. And if they throw in a monster deal throughout the course of the year, that's the vacation or the paying off the car or kids' college or whatever it is. But they never, ever, I never see a real estate business plan that has appointments. And when I used to look back and do ours for our team and ours for the offices, the biggest thing that we would do is we would build our goals around appointments, because we know we can control that. We can control if we set ourselves up on an appointment or not. And then this really just becomes a math problem. And we know, okay, if we want to make 120, we have to do 12 transactions over the course of the year. 12 transactions means I need to go on at least 24 appointments. And that's basically, if I want to work all year, take 3-4 weeks off, it's 2 appointments a week. It's really not that big of a deal to hit that number. But we can create and we can build a plan on those appointments. The reason that we doubled it is because the average rate for an agent, this is from started yesterday all the way through experience, is that they get 50% of the appointments they go on. Now, people that work strictly on referral or that have been in the business forever or have a lot more skills, they might get up to 65, 75. Some of them will even approach 80%, where they'll go on 5 appointments and they'll turn 4 of them into transactions. But usually for newer agents, it's really right around 50%. You're going to go on maybe 4 appointments your first couple months, and you're going to grab 2 of them, and 2 of them you're going to miss out on. So I like to be safe with that number and just know that we're shooting for a higher number of appointments. So right now, everybody should have 3 numbers. They should have a number of how much money they want to make. They should have a number of how many transactions they want to do. And they should have a number of how many appointments that they need to actually get there. So if you played along and you're following along, just do me a favor, write your number of appointments in the chat. I just want to see what some of those numbers are. Throw them in there. Let's see some appointment numbers. How many you need to get to? 80, 15, 30, 14, 24. Okay, cool. So nothing too crazy. 24, 20, 24. Nothing too wild here, really. So hopefully none of those numbers scare you that much. There's nothing on there that really scares me. So far, the biggest one I'm seeing is 80, which is still less than 2 appointments a week. Even if you only work 40 or 50 weeks of the year, not bad. 12, 54, 60, 50, 24, 24, 12. Awesome. All right, guys. Awesome. Good. Thanks for playing along there. So hopefully none of those numbers scare you. But one of the other things I like to tell people to do is, like, when we look at this in real estate, a lot of times we say, oh, we're going to work, it's 52 weeks in the year. We're going to work 24/7, all of them. I want you to just think in your head what the number of weeks that you want to work is. And like maximum needs to be 50 for real. I would hope it's less than that, 40, 45, 48. But think about your number and how many you really need to get to a week. You don't have to write that down if you don't want. But most of these, like I said, the biggest one I've seen so far is 80, a couple in the 60s, the 54s. Those are averaging 1 appointment a week, 2 appointments a week at the most. So we're really not in too bad of shape. Now, what we need to do is we need to figure out what strategies we're going to use to get there. And this usually is where people's business plans start going wrong. And I want to spend a couple minutes in here. I'm going to pop up all of my lead gen strategies. So if you've been in the lead gen niche class with me before, if not, I'll do it again coming up here in the next couple of months. But if you've been in that class with me before, I lay out 30 or 31 different strategies and ways to get leads. And what I see a lot of the times happens is that when people try to translate that onto paper, onto an actual business plan, they pick 3 strategies that they're just never going to do because it sounds good or their friends are doing it or they want to impress somebody. But at the end of the day, the key part of what we're going to do next is you're going to need to pick the 3 lead generation strategies that you are willing to put all of your energy in, and we need to throw out the other 27 or 28 of them. I don't want you guys giving 2, 3, 4, 5, 6% energy into a lot of strategies. We need to get damn good at 3 strategies and really make a plan and action steps around those things, because that's what's going to give us a chance to succeed. So what I'm going to do for the next section is I'm going to put up 30 plus different lead generation strategies, and any of the ones that you think are good or that you're willing to do. And what I mean by willing is like a minimum of 1 hour a day, at least 5 days a week. So let's say it's the first one, I'll just cheat and tell you, is going to be database. If you're not willing to make an hour's worth of database calls every day that you work, I'm never saying 7 days a week, I'm saying every day you choose to work. So if you want to work 4 or 5 days a week, if you're going to put database and pick database, you need to be willing to make database calls at least 1 hour a day, every single day that you work. If you're not willing to do that, I don't want you to select that one. I only want you to select ones that you're going to work a minimum of 1 hour a day on every day that you want to work. So when I go through this list, what I want you to do is write down on your own piece of paper, wherever you're taking notes, any of them that you find that are interesting. And then at the end, I'm going to ask you, everybody, I'm going to ask to share their top 3 that they're actually willing to do before we get into action steps. So let's talk lead gen strategies. Again, write down any ones that you're thinking about doing, and then we're going to prioritize them. And I'm going to ask you, when we're done with this little section, to spit back to me, type in the chat what the 3 that you're actually willing to commit to are. So let's select 3 that you will do. So I break all the lead sources down into 3 ways that people generate leads. They either pound the pavement, which means they go out there, they put the boots on, they go to work, they go door knocking, they make phone calls, they use free technology, or they use pay to play strategies. So the pound the pavement things, I'm hoping everybody selects at least 1 out of there. These are things that we can do an activity today and we can get a result today. So I can call a FSBO today and I can get an appointment today. So we're going to pick some out of there and I'll go through that list. Then the free technology, these are a little bit more passive. These are, we're using things, we're putting it out in the world. These are longer term, more marketing based strategies that are going to help us build a brand, and they'll trickle in some leads. But if we make a Facebook post 15 minutes after this class, we're most likely not getting an appointment from that. However, if someone jumped on the phone and did some circle prospecting right after this class, they could set themselves up on an appointment today. And then the last column is the pay to play strategies. And the reason I don't put those in the beginning is because I really don't want you to spend money if you're not earning. I don't want you to just be throwing away money that you don't have or that we're hoping that we make somewhere down the line. However, if you are making money or have money to spend, anything in that 3rd column is going to be something that's like a faucet where you can turn it on today and by tomorrow you're going to have some leads. So let's go through these, and I want you to write down on your own page all the ones that you're interested in before we narrow it down. So pound the pavement, we're talking database. So are you willing to make calls every day and talk to people that you do know? Oddly enough, some people think it's harder to talk to people that they do know rather than those they don't. So database is one. Open houses. Now this could be virtual or it could be in person, depending on how you feel about COVID and all that stuff. But this means I'm willing to do open houses, 3, 4, 5 plus times per month, whether they're digital or in person, I don't care, but you're willing to do them often. FSBOs, this means every day we're going to get up and attack some of the FSBOs. In Palm Beach County, it's pretty normal for 3 or 4 of them to come up throughout the county every single day. Expireds, on a good day, there's about 100 expireds a day. Now, those numbers have been trending down the last 60 or 90 days or so because so many houses are selling because we have such low inventory right now. But still think at least every day there's at least 50 expireds in the county every day. Circle prospecting. This is when you're calling around deals you've done or your office has done and saying, hey, it's Ryan over at XYZ Realty. We just sold your neighbor's house, the Smiths, at $300,000. We have a bunch of extra buyers because we sold the house so quickly. Who do you know looking to sell their house for $300,000 in the neighborhood? Door knocking, pretty self-explanatory, right? Going around knocking on doors. Now, if you're not willing to do that right now, don't put that, right? If you're not going to go out there and knock on doors at least an hour a day, don't do that. And that might sound fun in January when it's 65 and 70, but think about also when it's August, and it's 105 and it rains every 15 minutes and then hurricanes and then gets nice again. If that's not something you want to do, don't do it. Events, very tough right now, right? So if you don't have some creative event plan, events are pretty much impossible at this moment. Hopefully they're going to come back, right? But I will tell you, like on our end for the title side, Fidelity, one of the biggest companies in the world, still doesn't want us doing events at all. Networking groups. Some of you have switched these virtually. So if you're doing that, BNI and things like that, great. But if you're not able to go out to the bars or to the happy hours or to the restaurants to do these networking things right now, that might not be the best. Seminars, plenty of opportunity to do these digital. right? This could be a first-time home buyer seminar, an investor seminar, a buy a second property seminar, something like that. Business to business, we've talked about this over the year, of some of this training stuff. But are you willing to reach out to businesses every single day that you frequent or that you know in the local community and team up with them to be able to attack their database and offer them something? So hopefully that helped that column a little bit. Website. If you do not have a website now, I would say don't start on this one, right? Don't make this the one that you're going to do, because we want to be something that you're familiar with and you already like doing. A blog. If you're not available and ready to blog and create content every single day, an hour a day, don't pick that one. But a blog is going to be something hyper local. So maybe it's going to be the Palm Beach golfer, and you're going to go and play all the golf courses in Palm Beach County and give reviews on them and show what it's like to live there and play there and all that fun stuff. Facebook, this is social media content. I'm talking free here in this column. So are you posting twice a day? If you're not willing to be posting twice a day, messaging people, using the messenger apps and bots and connecting with people and trying to use Facebook to build a business, don't do that one. YouTube. This is not watching YouTube cat videos and getting lost on there. This is creating YouTube content every single day about the time that you live in, the town that you live in, or the place that you want to work, or again, the Palm Beach golfer, and videos of all this stuff, whatever it may be. Instagram, same as Facebook. Adding, sharing, working on creating content every day, at least twice a day. Twitter, same as the other two. LinkedIn. Are we making connections with people in HR in all different businesses in all different parts of the world that are relocating here? Are we using LinkedIn as a strategy instead of a time suck? Zillow and Trulia, this is creating the free accounts. So there are free accounts that you can have for both of them. This is gaining reviews in both of them and using that as a place to help draw clients. Classifieds, this is your Craigslist, your Facebook Marketplace, all those kind of things. Are we using those to generate business? Are we posting on there every day, multiple times a day, multiple listings to drag in leads? Referral networks. Are you a part of any referral networks, whether it be in your company or not, and whether it be through the Facebook groups or something that's going to bring you referrals for free, where you receive the leads for free and then you pay out, obviously, if you sell them something or if you send them somewhere. And the last column, the pay to play strategies. Search portal leads. So this is, are you willing to spend on the Zillows, the Trulias, the Realtor.coms? Those of you that were on my Zillow class a couple of weeks ago already know how I feel about that. However, the truth is that there's leads there, right? There's leads to be had there. So are you spending on those things, and are you willing to spend? For the first one, that search portal leads, you're looking at $300 to $500 a month minimum to be relevant in that space. So if you're willing to do that, it might be an option, right? That turns the faucet on and gets you leads tomorrow. Home value calculators. Are you running ads or sending postcards that are driving people to something that helps them figure out the value of their home, and in exchange gives you their information? Big data. This is the offers.com, SmartZip. These are the places that take a whole area, a whole zip code, a whole neighborhood, aggregate all the data, make this whole big formula, and then spit you back out results that say, look, there's 1,000 houses here. Of them, here's the 20 households that are the most likely to sell based on what they've been shopping for, how long they've been there, what kind of debt they've had, if they've gotten married, a baby, divorced, all these other things that they somehow find a way to figure out. Paid referral sources. So are you paying companies up front to send you leads, meaning monthly or per lead? Self-managed pay-per-click. So are you using Google AdWords to drive people to your website and to drive leads to your business? Social media ads. So are you running ads on Facebook, on Instagram, on Snapchat, on Twitter, on all the other TikTok, and all the platforms? Print advertising. Are you printing something out regularly and sending it out? So are you doing tons of direct mail? Are you canvassing neighborhoods with flyers, things like that? Sponsorship. Are you sponsoring any sports teams, any businesses, any charities that you're paying to help bring in leads? Builder trade-in. Are you working or willing to work with any local builders to help them bring buyers and sell the houses of the people that move up into their communities? Company managed pay-per-click. So are you working with companies to pay them and they do all the work for you and send the leads? And our app, are you using we have a premium feature on our app that has all these lead gen calculators. It's like 10, 11 bucks a year. And I think it's $9.99 a year. And it helps you generate leads. You use the calculators that they have on there, post them to social, and then those generate leads for you and send them back to you. So hopefully you guys have wrote down some of these. What I would love to do is in the chat, just type your 3 with a comma in between them, or however you want to do it. Type in whatever 3 that you are willing to do. And what you're going to do is you're going to put them, if you're using my sheet or following along with my drawing, you're going to put those as your 3 strategies. But let's see some of your 3. I want to hear what people's 3 are that they are working on. And then we're going to dive into the action step part of this and get everybody through the action step part. So let's see some of your examples. What are your 3 that you are willing to spend at least 1 hour per workday on every day that you choose to work? So let's say, which ones are you willing to spend at least 5 hours per week on? All right, starting to come in here. All right, Facebook, open house, and database, good. Expireds, database, Facebook, good. Expireds, Facebook print ads, good. Database, paid referral sources, and social media, good. Database, open houses, and business to business, good. Circle prospecting, expireds, and YouTube, good. YouTube, blog, circle prospecting, nice. Database, Facebook, expireds, good. Circle prospecting, open house, events, calls from database, Facebook business to business, open house, Craigslist, social ads, mailers, Facebook ads, FISBOs, good. Social media, business to business, builder trade-in, nice. Facebook, social ads, self-managed pay-per-click, cool. Instagram, database, open house, awesome. So I will tell you, when we ran our team, ours was database was number 1, open houses was number 2, and internet leads was number 3. So those were kind of our 3 big ones. And we bounce between pay-per-click and social ads as our internet leads. So, all right, awesome. So write those. Good job. Thank you guys to all that contributed. Almost all of you wrote something in here. So thanks a lot. Cool. So write those in your 3 strategies if you're working on them that are going to be the strategies that get you to your appointment number. Now, what I would do if I were you is take your appointment number that was just above you and either divide that by 3 or break it into what realistic is going to happen. So let's say you wanted to do 24 transactions this year. How many of them do you think you're going to get appointments from? Or you needed 24 appointments this year? How many appointments are you hoping to come from your database? How many are you hoping to come from your second strategy? And how many are you hoping to come from your third strategy? So if you are doing database, the target would be at least 1 appointment a month from our database. This could be a referral, someone, a friend of a friend, or someone that we know directly that we're contacting. We know we're going to grab some appointments from them. Maybe I see a lot of people doing open houses as strategies. So maybe that means we're going to do an open house every weekend or every Sunday all year or every Saturday all year, whatever it is, whatever kind of football you don't like or whatever you don't want to watch. Pick whatever day you're going to do your open houses. How many open houses? And let's say if we do 4 of them a month, maybe every other one is going to get us an appointment. So that might be 12 or 24 appointments in there. And then maybe internet leads. So every month we're going to generate 100 internet leads and the conversion rate on those is 100 to 1. So maybe it's 12 appointments throughout the year. So write in whatever your strategies are. And then let's talk action steps, because again, this is kind of where people write those strategies and they're confident in that, but they don't have action steps. So what I want you to do in the action steps part, we're talking still about the same things, right? We're building action steps off of the lead generation strategies that we talked about. But I want to give you guys some examples. So I'm going to go through every one of these. So in case anybody picked any one of them, I don't want to miss anybody. I'm going to go through and I'm going to give you an example of an action step that I personally would do for every single one of these 31, I think, sources of lead gen that we have on here. And then I want that to kind of be your baseline where you can build off of that and work off of that, because I really want you guys to leave here with action steps, because that's something you can look at and you can say, okay, there's something that I need to work on, right? Here's something, if I have nothing going on today, if I have no business today and I need to drum something up, I need to be able to look at this business plan, look at an action step and drum them up. So here's going to be an action step for you guys for every single one of these that you can then write down and start putting in your action step section. So database. What I would do with this is, hang on. All right. What I would do with this is I would make it every week. So there's 13 weeks per quarter and there's 4 quarters in the year. And there happens to be 26 letters in the alphabet. So every week, 13 weeks of the quarter, every single week, I'm going to touch all of 2 letters in the database, meaning week 1 of the database, I'm going to make a call to everyone in my database that their last name starts with an A or a B. week 2, C and D, and so on and so forth, and go through and do that every year. So an action step would be every single week of the entire year, I'm going to pick 2 letters of my database, and those are going to be the 2 that I'm going to play offense on that week that I'm going to communicate. Now, that doesn't mean if you're calling A's and B's this week and a C calls you for a listing, you're not going to go, obviously, right? However, 2 letters per week, we're going to play offense on. Open house. I'm going to do an open house every Sunday all year at a set time. So pick a time, 1 to 4, 1 to 3, 12 to 2, whatever you like. And I'm going to use 50 signs, 50 signs for each one of those. FSBOs. I'm going to pick 1 FSBO per day, every day that I work. And on my way home from the office or errands or picking up the kids or wherever I work, I'm going to pop in and have a face-to-face every day that I want to work with a FSBO. Expireds. I'm going to call 10 expireds every single day, the hopes of getting 1 appointment. So 10 expired calls every single day. Circle prospecting. I'm going to pick someone in my office that does a lot of business. And once a month, I'm going to call around his or her most recent deal or deal that I like the most and give it a call and just say, hey, you know, someone in our office just sold your neighbor's house, the Smiths, at 123 Main Street. Wondering if you know anybody in the area that's thinking about selling now that the real estate market is so hot. Door knocking. I'm going to pick 1 farm area per month, and I'm going to knock that entire farm with a lottery ticket that I give them, and they only get the lottery ticket if I get their phone number. So I'm going to go, and let's just say that the neighborhood has 120 homes. I'm going to buy 120 $1 scratch-offs, and they only get the lottery ticket if they give me their number. And if they give me their number, the next day when I'm done sweating from my door knocking, I'm going to call them back and see how they did on the lottery ticket. Events. I'm going to go to 1 event per week. I'm going to be on purpose about going to 1 event per week. That is not a real estate board event, and is not an office event. This is not an event that you're going to that just has a bunch of realtors handing around getting a free cocktail. This is an event that I'm going to go to that has people that are interested in something similar than I am. So for me, even now, some of these things are still going on, right? I could go to a dog rescue event. I could go to a paddle boarding event. I could go to a car event, and I could go to the green market. And throughout the course of the month, I could hit one of those each weekend, covering 4 things that I like to do: be in the water, play with cars, play with dogs, and eat food. And I could go there on a mission to get business. Networking groups. I can either join one or start one. If you're going to start one, use like a BNI concept and say, okay, I'm going to start one where I'm the only realtor. I'm going to get a lender. I'm going to get a handyman. I'm going to get a car salesman, a lawyer, whatever else. Put that group together where everybody has to send referrals amongst the group to stay in the group. Otherwise, they get the boot. Seminars. I'm going to do a first-time home buyer seminar once a month, either on Zoom or something digital, or in person, socially distanced, somewhere that you can do that. Business to business. I'm going to tackle 36 businesses. Over the course of the year, I'm going to team up with 36 businesses to do a business spotlight and use that to reach out to their database as the local expert. Free text strategies, other action step ideas. Website. I'm going to post something that drives people back to my website. So a nice house every single day using my website to drive them back. Blog. I'm going to create 1 piece of content per day that I choose to work for my blog. So today it might be top 10 pizza places in West Palm Beach, and it's going to drive back to my blog, which is on my website. Facebook, going to make 2 posts per day, 1 fun and 1 that is engaging, meaning asking a question. So I don't know if Mindy's on the call, but she's doing a great job at this recently. She does this thing, I think it's like Fab House of the Day or something. It's very Mindy. It's like very bubbly and happy and fun. Fab or Fabulous House of the Day or something. And she posts it up and has people guess the price. And she has like 100 comments on it every day. She picks these amazing, ridiculous, beautiful houses from all over the MLS. She just picks something out of the MLS, puts it up, and it gets her people to engage in it all the time. It's awesome. YouTube, I'm going to create 1 video a day. This doesn't have to be a full feature film production quality video. It could be a 90-second, hey, here's my home buyer tip of the day. When you're buying a house, don't go buy a Mercedes with credit until you're done buying the house. Something very simple, just a nice little tip every day. Instagram, same thing as Facebook. I'm going to group Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. If you're going to use either of those, it's 2 pieces of content per day. 1 that's fun, 1 that's engaging. LinkedIn, I'm going to connect with 1 new person every day and have a conversation. One person a day. So at the end of the year, if I did that every day, and I worked 5 days a week, 50 weeks a year, I'd have 250 new people in my database. Zillow and Trulia, the first step would be, or the first action step would be, I'm going to go create my free account. The next action step would be, I'm going to contact everyone I've ever done a transaction with and get a review from them to get that built up. Classifieds, if you were on my new construction class a week or two ago, we talked a lot about this. Classified action step would be, I'm going to post 10 new construction homes on Craigslist every single day that I want to work. Referral networks would be, I'm going to connect with one person at a different part or a different city or a different state every single day until I have a network big enough that if someone traveled anywhere inside the United States within 50 miles, I knew somebody that can service them. Pay to play strategy. Search, pretty much all these are just pay for them and do it. But search portal leads. So that's your Zillow, Trulia, Realtor.com. So I'm going to pick a zip code. Ideally, that's the cheapest. And I'm going to answer my phone when it rings. Home value calculators. I'm going to buy the home value calculator and run an ad or make a post that's driving traffic to it every single day. Big data. I'm going to work the list that they give me. So if I did SmartZip and they gave me my top 20% most likely to move, I'm going to door knock them or call them every day. Paid referral sources. I'm going to find a paid referral source and buy one of them. Agent Machine we used to use was one of them. Self-managed pay-per-click. So I'm going to be constantly running a pay-per-click ad for whatever town I'm in. And I'm going to do one for homes, one for condos, one for townhouses to draw in new leads every day. Social ads. I'm going to constantly have a social media ad running. So every day I'm going to have a $3 budget for a Facebook ad for the whole year. Print advertising. I'm going to commit to a minimum of 18 months of farming if I'm going to do print or any kind of direct mail. Sponsorship. I'm going to sponsor something and actually go. So if you're going to sponsor the local softball team, you better plan that your schedule, your action step every week, being at the softball game. Builder trade-in. I'm going to visit every new construction community in a certain mile radius of my house or where I work and find out if they're working with any realtors. And if not, find out how you can get their unbranded marketing material and start using that. Company managed pay-per-click. So I'm going to reach out to one of these companies that do it. We own a company called Sync that does it, and we have a handful of other ones that are available. The app, if you're going to use the app, you're going to pay for the app. This is not an ad for the app, but you're going to pay for the app, and you're going to post a lead generation calculator every single day. So these are some action steps that we just went over. When you have some of these action steps, you're going to throw them in your 5. I would love it. We're almost done here. I'd love it if everyone shared with me one action step that they're going to do. It doesn't have to be for each of the 3. Just everyone type one action step that you got from what I just said or that you came up with yourself that you are willing to do every day that you choose to work in one of your lead gen strategies. So share with me one action step that you are willing to do. Throw it in the chat. Come on, don't be shy. One action step that you are going to do. Come on. It's no fun if you don't play along. All right, we got one. The alphabet system for the database. Perfect. So every week we're going to pick 2 letters and we're going to play offense. We're going to attack on 2 of them. Good. Paid ads. Good. So I'm going to run an ad all the time. Facebook posts regularly. Good. So 2 posts a day, every single day. Good. Have one conversation with one person on my page every day. Good. Sign up for events and go to one every single week. Good. Partner with 36 businesses over the next year. Love it. That's one of my favorite ones because you still get to enjoy and go places you like and have fun with people you obviously like because you like their business. 2 Facebook posts per day. Good. Circle prospecting around all my listings. Good. 2 posts a day on Facebook and Insta. Good. Alphabet system for the database. Good. Social media ads and posting every day. Good. Paid ads. Facebook posts. Open house every week. Awesome. 10 expired calls. 2 Facebook posts a day. Good. Meet construction companies. Good. LinkedIn, connect with one new person every day. Good. Post daily on Facebook. 1 fun, 1 engaging. Good. Social, 2 a day, and sponsorship. Awesome. Good. All right. Now we have to actually get out there and take action. So one of the joys with doing this in October is we have 66 days left in the year where we can play around with this a little bit and plan some of these actions. And we can look at this. And if we get a couple weeks in and we say, oh my God, this is working really good, then we could ramp that side up and minimize something else. And if we get a week or 2 into this and something is really horrible, it's just crappy and it's just not working, we can axe that. So the joy of this, I always tell people, before you really give up on a lead generation strategy, you really need to try it for like 6 to 8 weeks. So if you picked up the phone right now and you called 10 expireds and you got no answers, or you got 9 no answers and one person told you off, it doesn't mean expireds don't work. It just means we don't have a large enough sample size. The good thing is that for the rest of what we have going on this year, with 66 days to go, a little over 2 months, you guys have the ability where you can look at this and say, okay, I'm going to try this, and I still have time to tweak this. You can still jump on a one-on-one and we can fix this, or we can change this up a little bit. So take some action now. It's Monday. Whatever action step you put in place, or you put in the chat, take action on one of those this week. Start getting some results, and let's really customize this business plan while we still have some time here. And the good news is, if you're doing these actions now, we're going to start putting stuff under contract. And if you think about it, another week or two, once stuff starts going under contract, it's going to be starting to be falling into closings in January. So get those things under contract, go get some listings. We would love it if you sent us those deals at Performance, Trident, and Synergy. If you need help, again, if you struggled with this or I was talking too fast, I'm going to put out the replay so you guys can watch it. If anybody wants that sheet that I use, just put your email in the chat and I'll send it to you. And if you want to get a one-on-one, or if you need help with this or something you couldn't figure out, or you want to dial in your business plan a little bit more, reach out to me. I will throw my email in the chat, and you guys can get a one-on-one and we can kind of get this settled for you. I'm putting my email in the chat right now. As always, please, we appreciate it. We've had a great year thanks to you guys. So keep sending the deals. Thanks to Gab and Dave and Melissa and Tracy and everybody that is constantly out there working with you guys, spending the time to help you guys get these deals together. Coming up this week on Thursday, we have Better Call Paul, final one of the month. We are going to go over the CRSP contract. We know a lot of people don't use it. A lot of brokers don't like it, us included, by the way. We don't really love it. However, we are seeing people start submitting deals on those because they know their clients are either overpaying or they're having little issues where they're trying to use some of the clauses in the CRSP to keep the deals together a little bit tighter. So I really suggest right now you jump on that call. It's going to be Thursday at 4 o'clock. We'll send the email out and just kind of start learning and at least have an understanding of that contract. Again, I know most of us don't use it. A lot of us really strongly dislike it, but we're seeing them coming in and we want to make sure that you guys are up on that. So jump on there with Paul. We have a great 7 or 8 weeks of classes left before the end of the year. We will probably throw in one more round of business planning. So if you miss or you want to edit before the end of the year, we will do that. We're going to have a 21 tips for social media to add 21 deals to your business in 2021. That's coming up. We have a couple other great things planned for the rest of the year. So hope you guys can jump on for some of that. Kara, thanks as always for the slides. If you guys need any marketing, any GIFs, any graphics, any of the slides or email templates or anything that we send out, if that's something you don't want to do yourself and you want to hire out your marketing, we have a great partner that does that with us. So if you ever want to be a part of that, you can. And other than that, we will see you guys next time. Hope you had a great class. Hope you guys built a business plan. And if you do need anything, I will stay on for a couple minutes to answer questions. So thanks all. Have a great day. See you soon.